couple of great players. You got to find a way to replace them. And you see that coming far in advance. And you have a plan recruiting and getting the guys in that you want to develop. And good thing is, we were able to redshirt some guys and allow them to progress. But the Austrian, Ross, Gerald, Victor, those guys are all in their second, third year now. And we're looking for them to step up. But when you talk about replacing Rob and Woody, thank goodness you got DJ and Breland in there right now. We're missing Fadal and Isaac for spring ball, which is two guys that obviously we're going to count on in the fall to really help us. But overall, very pleased with the group right now, where they're at in spring ball.
Chris, do you think you'll be able to play as many as you played last year and the year before?
Yeah, I really think you have to be able to play 8. You can always manage who can play more reps, and the better players can play more, but I think you have to play 8 every game. And there's times we were playing up to 10 last year. I still think we could play 8 to 10 this year, but for sure you got to go in with 4 tackles and 4 ends, and I think already in spring ball we have that, with the early addition of Benito Jones being here, and Ross. And then as long as Fadal and Isaac are healthy, those are 2 guys we're counting on.
What kind of progress have you seen from Ross? He was in here a minute ago talking about how when he first got out there, it was, everything was going so fast, and he felt kind of out of place almost. He said he felt more comfortable now. Have you seen that?
Right. Yeah, I have with Ross, and I think defensive line doesn't get enough credit sometimes in the techniques that you have to learn, and the adjustment from high school to college football is so big in the trenches, going against guys that all of a sudden are the biggest, strongest guys in the world that you're going against every snap. So he's really come along, learning techniques, and with him, it's just confidence and getting reps. And the good thing is, unfortunately burned the red shirt, but he did have some game experiences, which is valuable. You can't put a price on that, to where now all of a sudden you get him in spring and some blocking schemes he's already seen. And but again, I'm just pleased with Ross. He's a very smart player in there, and he adds quality depth for us.
What's your first impression of Benito?
Very similar to Isaac. The first time I ever got a chance to coach him, it was obviously a different time of year. Isaac came in fall of his freshman year, and Benito's an early enrollee, so here in spring, but very similar. You could see the quickness, the first step that they both possess, and just can't say enough about who Benito is as a kid, just as a young man coming in here. Should still be in high school and is eager to learn, play football, but also just the guy he is around the building. Everybody loves him. He's everybody's favorite player already, and but very, very talented young man. Still raw, a very quick learner of skills. Like I said, should be able to help us this fall for sure.
But he's about 50 pounds heavier than Isaac, though, isn't he?
Back in the day, but Isaac's put on some weight.
Yeah, now.
Isaac's walking around 265 now, so first time ever.
I know Hugh's raved about his first step, his get off. I mean, where does it rank among some of the interior guys that you've coached?
Right there with Isaac. Yeah. Rob's was a little bit different, but Rob's entire body was twitching, but Benito and Isaac have that first step. Very similar, and Isaac's going through a bunch of our endo, even though he's not going through team periods, and they partner up as they go through endo and compete every time, and Benito's just a hair behind him when we do our twitch drills, and you can see that.
What about Victor and Gerald? I know there's a couple guys we've heard a little bit about the last couple of years, but I mean, have they progressed where they could have a bigger role in the fall, or what do you think?
Yeah, I would say Victor's a little bit ahead of Gerald. He always has been in his career here, and I just don't see, Gerald taking it on and competing with him at this moment. But Victor's kind of stepped up this spring, and so that's a positive for Vic. He will be the 4th end if Fadal's healthy, with Fadal, Marquise, John Youngblood, and then Victor would be the 4th guy in the rotation. And he flashes out there, really does some good things at times where you see him. You're like, man, that's why we recruit him. He's an SEC player, but he's just, still redshirt sophomore, I believe, and I still think he has a really bright future here.
So it seems like you might redshirt Wiley, but what have you seen out of him early?
Charles is going to be a very special player. He's very talented. As you guys know, he's kind of a combine freak, can jump, run, very explosive. He's just a little bit raw right now, but him and Benito, to have those 2 guys here as early enrollees is awesome. He's a quick learner. Mm-hmm. He's not lost out there. It's so hard for, you're talking about Shea Patterson, Benito Jones, some of these guys that you just can't believe they're seniors in high school still. And Charles is going to be a very good player for the Ole Miss Rebels one day.
Was Charles kind of a bigger Marquise?
That's a little bit of unfair comparison, but
Okay.
but he is bigger for sure. You know, he's already 240 something, and he is fast. He's just not as twitchy, and he won't cut it loose yet like Marquise does. Marquise's nickname was Crash Bandicoot because he just ran into everything full speed, and Charles is kind of feeling his way through right now. But when the light does go on, he's gonna be great.
What
Chris-
was Marquise Griffin?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash.
PlayStation 1, let's go.
Chris, now that he's played it a little
What
bit
an hell
more,
of a
what do you
PlayStation.
see in Jeremy Liggins when your guys go up against him?
Yeah, he's showing improvement. I mean, you know, he's a different guy, and it started with Paul Jackson saying that after winter conditioning, you know, just a little time he had, and to continue to see him grow. And that's something you see even today or this day and age when you're watching these guys at Pro Day. You know, they're still 21 years old. They're still developing going into the NFL, and that's with Jeremy. Every year he continues to get better. Now he's going into his senior year, and you know, that position he's just kind of embracing it, and he just really wants to get on the field, and I really see improvement in him. He should be able to help us.